Ethical issues can be a problem area for submissions, both in terms of filling in the ethical form and the ethical approach throughout the proposal. The obvious area is biomedical submissions, where most medical people, most medical teams understand the ethical issues and incorporate these within a proposal. However, many proposals are submitted to biomedical projects by non-biomedical organisations, and they need to think about patient confidentiality, about patient data and security of patient data, and often fail to think about those things. Ethical issues cover a much wider range of things than many people would imagine. Typically, there are a lot of issues around personal data. The Commission has pushed hard to get projects and proposals to look at end user needs, to focus on what the market wants. In doing that, they've driven surveys and the collection of personal data. And this then raises ethical issues, particularly if it's used in the project subsequently or indeed in the product. Another important area of ethical issues is dual-use technologies, those which have both military and civilian applications. The European Commission is very clear, it does not fund military research, yet dual-use technologies could easily fall into that category. An example would be something like an environmental project supported by the European Commission, which wanted to measure the incidence of wildlife in a particular habitat, and they might develop drone technology to detect rabbits, cattle, sheep in a landscape. Then they might also develop software to process this data. The trouble is that exactly the same technology could be used by the military to identify soldiers in the battlefield, and this would fall into a dual-use category and would at least have to go to an ethical review, but indeed could result in the project being rejected. Another very important area which raises ethical issues is the Internet of Things. The European Commission is increasingly developing a series of programs and projects in this area. And these are projects which look at collecting data from a variety of different sources. It might be personal data, it might be transport data, it might be environmental data, and combining this data to actually deliver services to the public and to governments. The trouble with this is this accumulation of data and the linking to personal data raises many ethical issues. So these projects, while exciting and very interesting for the European Commission, interesting for proposers, also make it very important that those who are putting forward projects have thought very carefully about the use of personal data and the ethical issues related.